the SEBI, the Spooner contributors, the Spooners contributors at least 40% of the net worth of the AMC and should have be sound financial track record for the over the 5 years period to the registration. That is a Spooner. Then second one is the trustees. Trustees means the trustees structure of the mutual funds in India has been borrowed from the UK. The regulation offers the Spooner to the form a trustee company or board of trustees. In India, almost all mutual funds follow the trustee company models. The second model we follow the trustees. A company is formed and the sole duty is function as a trustee. Every fund house must have at least fund trustees from which three-fourths of the trustees should be independent. Okay. The Spooner identify the members of the board of the companies, the trustee company, but for all practical purpose, it is taken by the AMCs. Next is the asset management companies. Asset management company means the role of asset management company is act as the investment manager of the trust under the boards of supervision and direction of the trustees. The AMC should be provided by and registered with the SEBI as and the AMC. The trustee can terminate the AMC in case of they find the AMC to be engaged, if any, fraud activities, other without permission activities of the board and unit holders. So the AMC of the mutual fund must have a net worth at least 10 crores at all times. Directors, directors of the AMC should be professionally qualified, should be and a person high moral standings. Next, under the asset management companies, registered and transfer of agents. Registered and transfer of agencies. These are responsible for issuing and remedying units of the mutual funds and provide other relative service such as preparation of the transfer documents, updating investor records. These activities will be carried out by the fund house either the internally or they can outsource these activities. If these activities are internally completed by the fund houses, charges will be applied by the fund house at competitive rates. Next is the distributors. Distribution means here mutual fund operates as collective investment vehicles on the principles of the accumulating funds from a fund to sell units across wide retail based individuals investors and network an established network of the distributions agents is essential. The mutual fund operate through a network of individual small brokers to large bank that are distributors. And next one is bankers. A fund's activity include dealing with the money on a constitution basis, primarily with respect to the buying and selling units, paying the investments more. Next, custodians. Custodian means mutual funds are in the business of the buying and selling a large number of securities in terms of the in terms of the physical in terms of the physical activities. The custodian is appointed by the board of trustees for seeking of the securities or participating in the clearing system through the depository companies on behalf of the mutual funds. Securities in the electronic form, the dematerialized securities are the depository patients. These are custodians. Next is the launching of mutual funds schemes. Launching of the mutual fund schemes are launching some different schemes. Under that, the important launching the schemes are regulation of the mutual funds. Mutual fund industry is governed by the SEBI, Stock Exchange Board of India, under regulation of SEBI Regulation Act 1996. Apart from these guidelines, the present system of the regulation of Mumbai mutual funds, also including the provision of Indian Trust 1982. Next is launching of the schemes. One is a disclosure in the offer document. SEBI has laid down several provisions with regarded to disclosure during the pre-launch and the post-launch of the mutual fund schemes to enable the investors to take the informed investment decisions on the basis of the information furnished by the mutual funds. Next is advertisement code. What is the advertisement code? Mutual funds are also required to advertise a comprehensive advertisement code prescribed by the SEBI in respect of the advertisement every mutual fund scheme. Next, guaranteed return schemes. One more important, in terms of the existing guidelines of SEBI, does not permit mutual fund schemes which provide a guaranteed return unless such a return is fully guaranteed by Spooner or AMCs. Next is the investment restrictions and valuation of assets. Restriction of the investments of the crops, which with a view of minimization under the investment risk on part of the mutual funds, like a SEBI has stipulated various norms for the investment management. There are there are also certain investment restrictions that are aimed to ensure the transparency in the working of the funds and also restriction them. Restrictions to the borrowings. A mutual fund is prohibited to borrowing except to meet the temporary liquidity needs for the purpose of the repurchase of redemption units. Next is investment to buy only transferable securities in order to prevent any speculative uh, mutual funds and part of the mutual funds. The SEBI prohibits underwriting of the option trading to the short tailing and carry forward the transactions. Next, restriction on money market investment. Restriction on money market investments. SEBI has also put a certain restrictions in the money market investment with respect to the share in the corrupts of the funds as well as the time limit for holding the such investments. Next, valuation of assets. SEBI has prescribed detailed and comprehensive investment norms in the new regulation so as the bring a uniformly and transparency valuation of the investments. These are the important restrictions of the investments. Okay. Next. So this is enough. Now we are going to the fifth unit, unit number 5. Students, page number 175. This is also important unit mark merchant banking, credit rating, and credit rating agency in India. So first, today we are talking about that merchant banking. This is a very, very important chapter and easy also. So asking a more question in this unit. Next, what merchant bank, introduction of the merchant banks. What is the merchant bank? Merchant banks play a significant role in the financial service sector. It is a European origin. Merchant banks engage themselves in the financial services such as investment, banking, counseling, and negotiative incidences, and variety of other services related to the finance. The post-war, that's enough. The merchant banking activities became a more competitive during the second half of the 19th century. Second century, the merchant bankers could not survive the competitions. The merchant bankers instead executed short-term credits in the form of the acceptancy houses. Okay, this is the introduction of the merchant bankers. Next is the meaning of the merchant banking. Meaning of the merchant banking. Meaning of the merchant banking. There is no uniform definition of the merchant bankers in India, other than other countries also. It assumes that drives the functions of a different countries, and the merchant banking may be understood as a skill-oriented professional service provided by the merchant bankers to their clients concerning their financial needs for the adequate consideration in the form of the fee. So this is the definition of the merchant banking. Next year, the difference between or comparison or similarities between commercial banks and merchant banks. So, merchant banks are termed as the financial institution which is the intermediate between the depositors and borrowers. Besides the usual functions of the accepting deposits and extending credits, may value-added service are also provided by the banks. Commercial banks are the banks that provide service to the general public and companies, as well as, on the other hand, a merchant banks are similarly to investment banks, they do not provide the regular banking services rather than deal with the commercial loans and investment avenues. This is the interaction of the commercial banks and merchant banks. Now, differences or similarities between commercial banks and merchant banks. In merchant bank, commercial bank definition is or meaning is commercial banks is banking company established by a number of people for providing the basic banking functions like accepting deposits, lending of money, and general public services to the public. This is the commercial bank. Under merchant bank refers to the financial institution only that is specialization, international trade, and provide for the service to the clients. This is the meaning of the merchant banks. Next, Government Act. In commercial bank, regulated by the Banking Regulation Act 1949. But here, comes under rules regulated by the SEBI, Stock Exchange Board of India. Merchant banking rules is followed by the SEBI or framed by the SEBI. But here, commercial banks are registered under Banking Regulation Act 1949. Engaged in. So, in commercial banks, engaged in the general banking services. But here, consultancy type of services provided by the merchant banks. Next, nature and loan are extended. So, it is a commercial banks given debt bank related services. But here, equity related services. The merchant bank provided equity type of related services, but commercial banks is provided debt related services. Next, um, role. The financier in commercial banks treated as a financier. Here also in merchant bank is a financial advisor. Next, risk. Commercial bank risk is a less, in merchant bank is a more than compared with the commercial banks. Next, characters. A need of public. So here charter means for uses. The commercial bank uses for the general public. But here needs of only corporate services, corporate firms. Merchant bank useful to the corporate services, and commercial bank is useful to the general public. These are the important differences or similarities between commercial banks and merchant banks. Next is the services provided by the merchant bank. This is important, students. Difference between commercial bank and merchant bank is important. Take it. It is a 8 marks question. Next is the services of merchant bank is 12 marks question. This is also very very important question. Suppose if any question asking in this unit, their services provided by the merchant banking or define the merchant banking. What are the services provided by the merchant banking? This is an important question. Write down or pick it. Next, the activities of services are services performed by the merchant banks. First service is arranging the working capital finance. Arranging the working capital finance. So the working capital finance was not a considered to be merchant bank activities, but used to be part of the commercial bank function. Used to be part of the commercial bank function. This is the first services provided by the merchant bank. What is the first point? Arranging the working capital services or working capital finance. Then so second service is broker in stock exchange. So this is a merchant bank is it comes under SEBI guidelines. So it is a broker. Broker means like a mediator. Mediator means the merchant banker act as a broker in the stock exchange. They buy and sell shares behind of the clients. Next is the capital restriction services. Merchant banks. One minute. Next is the capital restriction of services. Capital restriction of services means here merchant banks render the different capital restriction services to the corporate units depending upon the circumstance of particular units is facing. Next is the corporate counseling service. Corporate counseling services means counseling is a provided in the form of the opinion, suggestions, and detailed analysis of the corporate laws and applicable to the business units. Next, handling the government consent for the industrial projects. A businessman has to get the government permission for the starting of the project. Starting of the project. Next, issue management service. Issue management service means it is the act as the intermediate services whose the job is transferred to capital from these who own it's those who need it. So this is the issue of the management. Next, leasing services. Leasing services means merchant bankers will always help in the leasing services. Lease is contract between the leaser and leasing, whereby the leaser allows the use of the is a specific assets such as equipment by leasing for the certain period. Next, loan syndication. Loan syndication means the provide specialized services in preparation of the project loan application for raising the short-term as well as the long-term credits from various banks, financial institutions, etc. Next is the management of the interest and dividend. Merchant bankers help their clients in the management of the interest on debentures or loans or a dividend on shares, etc. Money market operation. Merchant bankers deal with and underwrite short-term money market instruments such as government bonds, certificate of the deposits, issued by the banks and financial institutions, commercial papers issued by the large corporate firms, and non-resident investments. Non-resident investment means like NRI services. NRI services means the service of merchant bankers include advisory to the NRI in the term of identification of investment opportunities, selection of the securities, investment management, etc. These are one of the important services provided by the merchant banks. Next is the offshore finance. Offshore finance means merchant banks help their clients in the areas involving the foreign currency, such as long-term foreign currency, loans, a joint venture, and financing export and imports, etc. These are the offshore finance services. Next is the portfolio management. Next important one. Next service is portfolio management. Merchant banks offer services not only to the companies issue the securities, but also to investors. But also investors, investors, they advise their clients, mostly institution services, etc. Okay. Next is the portfolio management. Merchant bank offer the services not only to the companies issuing the securities, but also the investors. They advise their clients, mostly institutional investment, regarding the investment decisions as to the quantum of the amount. Next, project counseling. Project counseling. Project counseling means here it covers the study of the project and providing advisory services on the project viability and procured steps to be followed by the implementation. Next, reveals of the SIC industrial units. Merchant banks help in the reviews of the SIC industrial units. It negotiate with the different agencies like banks, term lending institutions, etc. This is a risk reveals of the service industrial units. Next is the service to public sector units. Service to the public sector units. So your merchant bank offer the many services to the public sector units and the public utilities. They help the rising of long-term capital and marketing securities and foreign collaborations and arranging the long-term finance from term lending institutions. And next point is next service is special assistance to the MSMEs. So MSMEs means medium and small scale industries like merchant banks advise to small and medium companies about the business opportunities, government policies, initiatives, and concessions available. It also helps them to take the advantage of these opportunities, concessions, investments, etc. Next is a venture capital. So many merchant bankers maintain venture capital fund to assist the entrepreneurs who lack of capital to risk. These are important services provided by the merchant banking. Total 18 services is there. This is a very, very important question. Okay, once again, I repeat the all services. Number one, arranging working capital finance. Second, important for next service is broker in stock exchange. Next service is capital restriction services. Next one is corporate counseling service. Next is the handling government service. Next, issue of management service. Next is a leasing service. Next is a loan syndication service. Next one is the management of interest and dividend service. Money market operations. Next one is the non-resident investments. Next is the offshore finance. Next is the portfolio management. Next is the project counseling. Next is the reviews of the six industrial units. Next one is service to public sector units. Next one is special assistance to the MSMEs. Next one is the venture capital. These 80 is the important services provided by the mutual funds. This is the student. This is important question. It is related to the 12 marks question. Sometimes they are asking 20 marks question also. We have one 20 mark question. Na? So sometimes they are asking this question also. Your 18 services is there. You must write the 18 points. You get the 20 marks or 18 marks depending on your uh, 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 writing. Next is the qualities of merchant bankers. Qualities of merchant bankers. So, merchant bankers play a significant role as a transform of the project ideas into the industrial venture. They help in the promotion of the enterprise by undertaking various activities such as market surveys, choice of the suitable location, and it's a site of preparation of a documents and obtaining the consent from the various authorities. Under that, the qualities is ability to analyze. Ability to analysis. They must have the ability to analyze the various aspects such as technical, financial, and economic aspects concerning the form of industrial projects. So this is the first quality of the merchant bankers. Then second one is abundant knowledge. The, they have the abundant knowledge about the various aspects of the capital markets, trends in stock exchange, a psychological of investment public, and the change in the economic and technological environment in the country. This is second quality of the merchant banks. Next is the innovative approaches. Innovate means a new. They have innovative approaches in developing capital market instruments to satisfy the ever-changing needs of investment public. Next, integrity. One more quality, integrity. They also have the integrity and maintenance of the high professional standards in the essential requirements of success of the merchant bankers. Next, the professional relationship. They have to ability to build up the bank client relationship and live up the client's expansion with the total involvement in the project assigned to the uh, banks. These are the five important qualities of merchant bankers. Next one is problems of merchant bankers. Here, services provided by the merchant bankers, qualities of merchant bankers, and problems in merchant bankers. So, the following some of few problems is there, like risks are there. Number one, high capacity acquaintance of the norms. In merchant banks, the SEBI guidelines stipulated is a minimum net worth of 1 crore rupees for the authorized merchant bankers. This is one uh, problem. So 1 crore is the small scale industry is not helpful to this. Next one is a non-corporation of issue companies, cooperation of issues. In allotment of securities, refund of application money is another problem faced by the merchant bankers. Next is the restrictions on merchant banking activities. SEBI guidelines have authorized merchant bankers to undertake issue the related activities only with an exemption of the portfolio management. Okay, so this merchant bank is over students. Next is a credit rating. Next is a credit rating. Page number 184. This is chapter number 14 under fifth unit. Next, what is the credit rating? What is the credit rating? Credit rating is organized in USA when the John Moore issued in the first rating in 1990. Presently, rating agencies existing in Canada, Australia, Japan, UK, France, Sweden, Portugal, South Korea, and other countries. This history of credit rating in India is a very short. It has started with the establishment of the Credit Rating Information Services of India Limited in January 1998. It was followed the establishment of Investment Information and Credit Rating Agency in India. It is the credit analysis and research in equity. With the increasing the market orientation of the Indian economy, investors value a systematic assessment of two types of risks, namely business risk arising out of the open economy and the illness between the money, capital of the foreign exchange, capital of the foreign exchange markets and payments risk with a view to the protect the small investors who are the main targets for the unlisted corporate debt in the form of the fixed deposits with a companies or credit rating has been made mandatory. Next, the meaning of credit rating. Meaning of credit rating. Credit rating means and given an expert opinion by the rating agencies. Credit rating means it is the expert opinion by a rating of agencies and the relative or willingness and ability of the issuer of the debt instrument to meet the debt services obligation in time and full. The credit rating or judgment about the firm, firm financial and business prospectus, the financial position of the business. The credit rating, it is a credit rating is judgment about the financial position of the business. Some definitions offered by the well-known rating is the so and so. Some two, three members are given um, definitions according to modes. The first to credit rating user defined as the rating is exclusively for the purpose of gardening bonds according to their investment qualities. I mention the quality of the investment that is most given by the definition. Then CRISIL is given one more definition. The credit rating is an unbiased and independent opinion to issue capacity to meet the financial obligation. This is given by one more person and one ICRA. ICRA given one more definition. The credit rating or the opinion on the relative capability of the timely services of corporate debt and obligations. The definition given by the various persons or three members are given, Mood and Crystal and ICRA. So that is the definition of the credit rating. Next, what are the importance of the credit rating? What are the importance of the credit rating? Credit rating establish a link between risk and return. So this is the first importance. The credit rating is given between risk and return. They provide at risk of against which is to use the risk inherent in any investment. Credit rating is important for the lenders and borrowers. They represent the following condition. Now, first importance of credit rating. Hello, importance of credit rating for the lenders. importance of the credit rating for lenders. It determines It determines the decision of the investors to investment money to give a loan to that a particular company. That a particular company. Next, importance of the credit rating for the borrowing companies. One is the lender's company benefit. Then second one is the borrower's company benefit. If the credit rating of a company is high, it creates a goodwill. So such a company get a loan easily or can raise the money in the form of the corporate bonds of the markets with a very short period. This is also one important point. Next is the nature of a credit rating. Nature of the credit rating. Credit rating, the increasing level of default globalization, financial markets, lack of safety measures toward the privatization, etc., have led to the growing the importance of credit rating. The nature of credit rating is presented as all. First one is rating is based on information. Rating is given on based on information. Any rating based entirely on published information has serious limitations, and the success of the rating agencies will depend on its ability to access the prevailing the information. Page number 186. Someone asked the page number. The page number is 186. Nature of the credit rating. Okay, next. Many factors affecting the rating. Many factors affecting the rating. Rating does not come out of a mathematical formula. It is the financial. A final rating is given taking into the account and quality of management, corporate strategy, and economic outlook. Next, point students. Students, now clear na? Students,
Yes, sir.
okay, okay. Uh, Many factors affecting the rating. A rating does not come out of a potential a mathematical formula. The final rating is given taking into the an account the quality of the management, corporate strategy, and economic outlook, and international environment, etc. Next, rating by the modern agencies or modern agencies. It in the well-developed capital markets, debt issues. Yes, in the well-developed in the well-developed capital markets, debt issues are the more than often then not rated by the more than one agency, and it is only a natural and rating given by the two or more agencies differ from each others. Next, monitoring the already rated issues. Monitoring already rated issues. So here, a rating is an opinion given on the basis of the information available at a particular point of time. Many factors may affect the debt services capability of the users. Next is then publication of ratings. In India, ratings are publication of the ratings. In India, ratings are undertaken by only the request of the issuers and only these rating which are accepted by the issuers are published. Next is the next. A right of appeal against the assigned rating. When an issuer is not satisfied with the rating assigned, the company may request for a review furnishing additional information, if any considered relevant. Next, a rating appeal against assigned the rating. When an issuer is not satisfied with the rating assigned, the company may request the review of furnishing the additional information, if any, consider the relevant. Next is the rating of rating agencies. Rating of rating agencies. Inform the public opinion will be touchstone on which the rating companies have to assess it, and success of the rating agencies is measured by the quality of the service offered, constitution, and integrity. Next, rating is for instrument and not for the issue company. The important thing to uh, note is that the rating is done always a particular issue and not for the company or issuers. It is and incentive discussions with the senior executives, auditors, bankers, and traders, etc. So this is a time-taking process of the credit rating. Next is the instruments for rating. Instrument for rating. So we are given to the instruments rating. Na? So we use the which are the important points are we are considered. Like the key points are considered as a given credit rating. Under that rating may carry out the rating agencies some important respected points is there. First, they see equity shares issued by the company. So based on this, they are given, this is also important, but the key point is considered the rating, credit rating. Then preference shares issued by the company and bonds like debentures, corporate sector, etc. These and commercial papers and fixed deposits, borrowings in these. Total, they import 8 points considered. Number one, equity shares issued by the company, preference shares issued by the company, and bonds and debentures issued by the company, and commercial paper issued by the company, and fixed deposits, and borrowings, and individuals, and assets-backed securities. These 8 important points is the instruments treated as the instruments for the rating. Next is the credit rating has extended all these activities where uncertainty and risk is involved. Credit rating is the number one. Country rating. The first point is country rating. Then second one is rating of real estate builders and developers. Next is the chit fund rating. Next one is the rating of states, rating of banks, and LPG and form rating. Next, rating of structured obligations. Next one, the customer rating. These 8 important credit rating instruments: country rating, rating of real estate and builders, and chit fund rating, rating of states, rating of firms, and rating of the structured obligations and customer rating. These are important ratings. Next, rating methodology. So your total 6 points is there. What are the important rating methodology? Rating methodology used by the major Indian credit rating agencies is more or less similarly uh, a large number of variables of affected the quality of the rating. financial instruments of a company from the following particulars. Number one, business risk analysis. Business risk analysis. This includes an analysis of industry risk like market position of the company, operating agents efficiency of the company, and legal position of the company. The business risk analysis is the risk involved in the industry risk, market position risk, and operating agency efficiency risk, and company legal opinion of the uh, position of the company risk. These are business risk. Next, the financial risk. This type of risk is analyzing aimed to determine the financial strength of the issued company through the quality or quantitative means. Next is the management evaluation risk. This consists of effect of goals, plans, and strategies, capacity to overcome unfavorable conditions, employees experience and skills, and planning and control systems of the rating of company. Next, geographical analysis. An issuer company having its a business spread over the large geographical area enjoy the benefits of a diversification and hence gets a better credit rating. Next, the regulatory and competitive environment. Rating agencies is evaluate structure of the regulatory framework of the financial system in which it is working. Next, the fundamental analysis. It includes an analysis of liquidity management, asset quality, profitability, and the financial position, interest and tax rates, etc. Next is the advantages of credit rating. Advantages of the credit rating. So, a credit rating is a opinion on the future ability and legal obligations of the issuing company to make a timely payment of the security. And credit rating beneficial to the investors, issuers, and intermediates. So, credit rating is the advantages to the investors, advantages to the company, and investor. These are three category benefits there or advantages there. What are the advantages of the investors? The safety and investment. The advantage of the investors, the safety of investments. It is an idea in advance to the investors about the degree of financial strength of the mm, issuer company. This is the first advantages. Then second one is recognition of the risk and recognition of risk and returns. Rating symbol identify or indicate the both the returns expected and risk attached to the particular issue. This is a recognition of the risk and returns. Next, freedom of investment decisions. So investors today are the free and independent to take the investment decision themselves. They base their decision on rating symbols attached to a particular security. Next is a dependable. Dependable means a creditability of issuer. A rating agency has no vested interest in the issue to be rated in the concern links or risks. Next, easy understanding of investments, easy understanding investment proposals. Investments are required to analyze the knowledge on their part about the issue of companies. Next, the relief from the relief from the both relation up to the company. Rating agencies relieves investors from the knowledge of details, the company, its history and nature of the business and financial position, liquidity position, profitability position, and company management position and staff and board of director position. the relief and the both all the company details. Next, advantages of continuous monitoring. In a credit rating, the rating agencies not only assign the rating symbols but also continuously monitor them or monitor the company. These are the important advantages related to the investors. Next, the second type of advantages is company. So, a company whose the credit instrument or security rated is a benefited in the following ways. Easy to raise the resources. A company with highly rated instrument finding it easy to raise the resources from the public. Next, reduce the cost borrowing. Reduce the cost of borrowing. Investors always like to make the investment in such instruments which ensure the safety and easy liquidity rather than the high returns. Next is the reduced cost of public issues. A company, a company with highly rated instruments makes least efforts in the raising funds to the public. Next is the rating facilities growth. Rating motivations the promoters are undertaking the uh, expansion of the operations, a diversification of their production activities, and lending the growth production activities. That's enough. Next, recognition to unknown the companies. Recognition means credit rating, providing the recognition to relative unknown companies going for the public issues to a wide investors base. These are the advantages of the these advantages related to the company. Next is the advantages goes to the rating intermediates. So what are the other three types of no? So one is the investors, then second one is the company, then is the intermediates, issuers and intermediates. The rating help the merchant bankers and other capital market intermediates in their venture. It enables proper planning, pricing, undertaking, and the placements of the business. Next, the brokers. One minute now. Next is the brokers and the dealers could use the rating to monitor their risk, expose the rating saves their times of cost of energy and manpower in analyzing the investment risk. This is the advantage to the issuers and intermediates. Next is the disadvantage of the credit rating. This is also important. Disadvantages. No disclosure of the significant information. Disclose one of the disadvantages of the credit rating. No disclosure of the significant information. Firm being rated by may not provide the significant or material information which is likely to affect the investor's decision as to investments. Next is a static study. Static study means a rating is a static study of a present and the past data of the company at one particular point of the time. Next, a rating is no certificate of soundness. Rating grades by the rating agencies are only an opinion, but about the capability of the company to meet its interest obligations. Next, the rating may be biased, personal base bias of the investing in